Check, check. Mic check. That is very loud. That is very loud. No one will miss it. Yeah, I think after all the work we did yesterday. so loud. I don't have a service order. Sorry, I didn't print it out. False start. You'll see it when you're there. It's hard to describe this. It's a circular table. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Welcome to Temple B'nai Israel. It's everyone here on this President's Day weekend. It's fantastic for us all to be together. Hope we all had a really nice week. Shabbat's a time when we sort of try to de-stress, to relax a little bit, to breathe, to let sort of the rigors of the week slough off our shoulders a little bit, take a moment to sort of breathe, to reconnect to ourselves, to our community, and to God. Let's all turn as we greet our neighbors and say Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
We're all spread out today, so Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
And Shabbat Shalom to all of our streamers at home. Shabbat Shalom to the streamers. We're going to turn to page 128 in our prayer book, Song of Welcome, Hine Matov.
הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, יאללה לי, לה 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 לה. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, יאללה לי, לה 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 לה. יאללה לי, לה לה la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
I'd like to call to come forward Linda White and Heather Fisk for Candles and Kiddush. We're on page 120. As we rise together, Kabbalat Panim, we welcome Shabbat with the lighting of candles and with the sanctification of our Kiddush wine.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our life, give light to all who behold us, as their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light. So may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Okay. The heaven and the earth were finished in all their array. On the seventh day, God finished the work that God had been doing. And God ceased on the seventh day from all the work that God had done. And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because on it God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Borei peri hagafen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, v'ahava uvratzon, hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila lamikra'e kodesh, zecher letziyat mitzrayim, ki vanu v'charta v'yotanu kidashta mikohamim, v'shabbat kodshecha v'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mikadesh haShabbat. Amen. Excuse me.
Let's take our seats. We're We're on page 124 in the middle of the page as we continue responsively. May the door of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship.
May it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture.
May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity.
May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet.
May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness.
May this synagogue be, for all who enter, the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life.
We turn now to page 138 and 139 for the singing of Lecha Dodi. We welcome the Sabbath bride as we sing passages 1, 2, 5, and 9. And on the final verse, we'll rise together and face the door to symbolically greet the Sabbath bride.
Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nikabela, Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Hishmianu el hamyuchad, Adonai echad, U'shemo echad, L'shemu tiferet v'litila. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nikabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki hi makor habracha, merosh mikedem nisucha, sof ma'aseh b'mashava tehila. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nikabela, Lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nikabela. Hitorari, ki va'orech uri, she'er daberi, kivod Adonai alich nigla. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nikabela. Bo'i v'shalom ateret bala, gam b'simcha uv'tzola, toch emunai am segula. Bo'i chala, lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nikabela.
We remain standing as we turn to page 145, continuing responsively. Teach me, O God, a blessing, a prayer in the mystery of a withered leaf, unripened fruit so fair, on the freedom to see, to sense, to breathe, to know, to hope, to despair. Together, teach my lips a blessing, a hymn of praise, as each morning and night you renew your days. Lest my day be today as the one before, lest routine set my ways. On the next page, the Baruch Hu, our call to worship.
Yalla lai lai lai, 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 yalla lai lai lai. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed, Le'olam va'ed. Yalla lai lai lai, 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 yalla lai lai lai.
Please be seated. We're on page 149 at the top of the page. Let's pray together in the English. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim. On page 151 in the middle of the page, let's continue responsively. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol.
All these things your Torah gives to us.
And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives.
What could be a truer token of your abiding love
than this holiest of your works and the living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. On page 152, please rise for the Shema.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod, Shem Kevod, Malchuto, Leolam, Leolam Vaed.
Please be seated. We're on page 154 as we continue together chanting the Via Hafta.
V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
On page 157, at the middle of the page. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and on earth. Together?
The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love.
From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way.
Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces.
Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed.
Let us continue to work for the day when nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea.
On the next page, Micha Mocha.
Ya la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Micha mocha ba'elim Adonai, micha mocha ne'edah b'kodesh, nora tehilot osefele, nora tehilot osefele. Malachutecha ra'u banecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe veMiriam, ze'eli anu ve'amru, ze'eli anu ve'amru, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. Yai la la, yai la 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 la, yai 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 la la la, yai la 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 la.
We continue now on page 160 with Hashkivenu as we ask God to protect us from all harm.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom V'hamidenu shomrenu l'chaim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkiveinu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomrenu lechaim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, from sorrow and pain. Hashkiveinu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomrenu lechaim, lechaim.
We now turn to page 162 as we continue with a song for Shabbat. Middle of the page, Yismechu.
Yismechu b'malechutecha, shomre, shomre, shomre Shabbat, v'kore oneg Shabbat. Yismechu b'malechutecha, shomre, shomre, shomre Shabbat, v'kore oneg Shabbat. V'kareshe shevi Shabbat, kulam yisma'u v'yitangu metu v'chashabat. Yismechu v'malechutecha, shomre, shomre, shomre Shabbat, v'kore oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malechutecha, shomre, shomre, shomre Shabbat, v'kore oneg Shabbat. V'hashvi'i ratzito bo v'kidashto Shabbat, chemdat yamim oto karata Shabbat. Yismechu v'malechutecha, shomre, shomre, shomre Shabbat, v'kore oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malechutecha, shomre, shomre, shomre Shabbat, v'kore oneg Shabbat. Zecher למעשה בראשית שבת. זכר למעשה בראשית שבת. ישמחו במלכותך שמרי שבת וקורא עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי שבת וקורא עונג שבת.
On page 165. In an envelope marked personal, God addressed me a letter. In an envelope marked personal, I have given my answer. Let's rise together for the Amidah HaTefillah, beginning on page 164 and continuing through page 170 in the Hebrew.
Adonai, sifatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'koneh HaKol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei v'Nehem, Leman Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Ata gibor leolam Adonai, Mechaye hakol ata, Rav lehoshia, Mashiv haruach, Umorid hagashem. Mikalkel chayim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Somech nofalim, Virofei cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishanei afar, mi chamocha ba'al givurot, umidom elach, melech memit, umechayeh, umatzmiya Yeshua, v'ne'emar ata v'hachayot hakol, baruch ata Adonai, mechayeh hakol. Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, Ukdoshim b'chol yom, Yalaluch Hasela, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
Please be seated. We're on page 173 at the top of the page. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. On page 175 in the middle of the page. You are with us in our prayer, our love and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. Together, there may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadcha ba'ira na'avod. On page 177, let's continue together at the top of the page. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh lehodot. On page 178, we continue with a prayer for peace. Shalom Rav.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. V'tov beinecha livarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם.
Our thoughts now turn to loved ones and members of our community who are in need of healing, whether they are in need of physical, mental, or spiritual healing. We take them into our hearts this time of prayer. We're on page 371 in the middle of the page as we continue with Misha Berach.
מי שברך אבותינו מקור הברכה לאמותינו. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen.
We are thinking of at this moment of healing Raymond Douglas Alcorn, David Altner, Marty Bilo, Joe Brickman, Evan Bin, Ann Cole, Mark Edelstein, Mickey Edelstein, Benjamin Edelstein, and Brian Edelstein, Danielle Heyman Feist, Eric Fisk, Bob Gold and Carolyn Gold, and Jennifer Gousset, Barbara Green and Buddy Green, Stuart J., Laurie Cattleman, Hank Corin, Wendy Sugarman Krosnoff, Michael Lynch, Elsa Mikosh, Ruth Polar, Dr. Cindy Steinman, Pete Tanner, and Michael Penhanick. Is there anyone today who is thinking of someone for this prayer of healing? Please speak their name as my eyes meet yours.
Philip Gelman, Doris Kirshner.
Taking all these names into our heart with those that are being mentioned at home, we continue together as we pray.
מי שברך אמותינו מקור הברכה לאבותינו. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We continue now with a moment of silent prayer and reflection.
יהיו לרצון עם רפי והגיון ליבי לפניך, אדוני צורי וגואלי, אדוני צורי וגואלי.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. On February 6th, a 7.8 magnitude earthquake shook Turkey and Syria, causing catastrophic loss of life and devastation. As of now, over 41,000 people have lost their lives in this tragedy. Photos and videos capturing the horrors of the aftermath are truly heartbreaking. Who could witness this level of destruction and loss and not be shocked and saddened? Well, I'll tell you who. The chief rabbi of Sfat, Rabbi Shmuel Eliyahu. Rabbi Shmuel Eliyahu, who's a major religious figure in Israel, believes this earthquake is an example of divine justice. In a recently published article, he writes, God is judging all the nations around us who wanted to invade our land several times and throw us into the sea. This is about Syria, which abused its Jewish residents for hundreds of years in the blood libels of Damascus and others, which invaded Israel 3 times in order to kill and destroy. As for Turkey, he writes, we do not know what accounts need to be settled with Turkey, which has defamed us in every possible arena, but if God reveals to us and tells us that God is going to judge all of our enemies, we just have to look around and understand what is going on around us. Rabbi Shmuel Eliyahu believes that somehow the over 40,000 victims of the earthquake deserved their fate, that God is meting out punishment to the wicked. He compares this to the drowning of the Egyptians in the Red Sea. When Pharaoh's hosts were chasing the Israelites crossed the sea. When it split, the Egyptians, they wound up drowning in the sea, chasing after the Israelites. Now, of course, after comments like this, which thankfully do not represent mainstream Jewish opinion, rabbis, scholars, organizations all sort of called out his remarks from all, again, sections of Jewish life, from the more traditional Orthodox movements to Hasidic movements to the Reform movement. Everyone says this is not okay. This is not Judaism. This is not Torah. But it's interesting, actually. Is it Torah or not? Because we've read Torah, I'm sure all of us in this room have read passages in the Torah that are a little uncomfortable. Because in the Torah, God does say that God is going to put to rout our enemies, right? That God is going to handle all of Israel's adversaries. There are uncomfortable passages in the Torah where God says, hey, you're going to go into the land, and what you're supposed to do? Kill everybody that's there. Men, women, children, go destroy them. In Deuteronomy in particular, there are passages in the Torah that are uncomfortable, that are troubling. There is a great book, Texts of Terror. They are terrible in the traditional sense where they are meant to bring about to us a sense of terror, right? A sense of fear, a sense of the unknown. When we have these very difficult texts, they challenge us to interpret them. If you look at your handout, which I hope most of you have, our handout this evening from Parshat Mishpatim, just this week, we have in the Torah portion, right after the Ten Commandments, remember we just had this last week, fire and smoke and flame, thunder and lightning. God's voice comes out from the heavens and gives us the Ten Commandments, a moment of revelation, right? A moment of connection with the divine, the formation of a people in this holy, sacred moment. But the Ten Commandments, it's a good start. There's more to come in the Ten Commandments. So this week, Mishpatim, we get a lot of laws. We get a lot of rules that the Israelites are given by Moses, through God, from God through Moses. And so for an example, this first one, remember, where were we? We were slaves in Egypt like 3 weeks ago, right? We were slaves in Egypt in our Torah portions. But this portion starts out with slavery. When you acquire a Hebrew slave, that person shall serve 6 years and shall go free in the 7th year without payment. If a male slave came single, he shall leave single. If he had a wife, his wife shall leave with him. If his master gave him a wife, and she has borne him children, the wife and the children belong to who? They belong to the master, and he shall leave alone. Does this text make us feel comfortable? Does this text make us feel, hooray, that's something we should all go observe right now. We should all get some slaves and make sure we're living by Torah values. It's right there in Exodus, plain as day. We have this text. It's difficult. It's challenging. How could a people who were just redeemed from 400 years of slavery, one of the first things we talk about is when we have a slave? Doesn't sound right. Doesn't jibe in the modern context. Another one that comes up just a few verses later in Exodus. One who insults one's father or mother shall be put to death. A little harsh on our back-talking children. A little bit rough, I think, when we see this. Is that a comfortable text? Is that something we would hold up in the public square? This is what Jews believe. We want to have this right now front and center. Let's make T-shirts. No, I don't think so. That wouldn't work. And much in the same way, Rabbi Shmuel Eliyahu, I don't want him on my T-shirts. I don't want him being the voice of Judaism, right? Using what he can maybe define as maybe some Torah values that he might have come upon. Can't deny that it's there. That's, It's there sometimes in the text, but is that what we want to be? Is that who we want to be as a people? A people who are vindictive, right? A people who are cruel, a people who rejoice in the suffering of others? No, I don't think that's who we are. In fact, I know that's not who we are because there are other texts in the Torah, other things that we can look at and say, maybe this piece represents what we want to have Jewish values look like today. Exodus 22:20, you shall not wrong or oppress a stranger, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. That's how we treat the stranger, right? With fairness, with kindness. 36 times in the Torah, it teaches us, you shall not oppress the stranger. You shall not wrong the stranger. You shall love the stranger. V'yahavta et hager. You shall love the stranger, for you know the heart of the stranger, because you were once strangers in the land of Egypt. We do not rejoice in anyone's suffering. No, we seek to help those who are suffering, which is why, in contrast to Rabbi Eliyahu, we know that Israel, the modern state of Israel, is a first responder to any human catastrophe in the world. Whenever anything goes wrong, whether this is a country that supports Israel, whether it's a country whose relationship with Israel is a little bit maybe on the frostier side, it doesn't matter. Israel is boots on the ground everywhere, with first aid, with medics, with supplies. They are there first, because that is Jewish values today. That is knowing our responsibility is to help, to uplift, to have compassion upon people who are suffering, not to take a victory lap when people who we think might be our enemies are suffering. We even have it once again. I think Rabbi Shmuel should read a little bit more Torah, but he could read Exodus 23:4. When you encounter your enemy's ox or his ass wandering, you must take it back. You don't go, my enemy has lost his property, and we're going to go walk and do other things. You don't do that. That's not the Jewish way. You take the donkey, you take the property, you take the oxen, whatever it might be, and you bring it back. You restore to that person their property. Well, I'll have you out of here before the AC is a problem. I'll do my best. So as I was saying, right, it's kindness, it's empathy, right? It's compassion. This is what we're looking for in Jewish tradition. Yeah, we can interpret text and find ways to be cruel, to find ways to be mean-spirited, if we want to. We have to really look for it, I think. We can find ways to, justify Rabbi Eliyahu's words, but I wouldn't look that hard. I would find the other words that are in front of us about love, compassion, kindness, help, being of support. Rabbi Eliyahu might have forgotten the story of Passover. He wants to talk about the Exodus story and the Egyptians drowning in the sea. But you all have your Haggadahs at home, and I'm sure you all remember the passage when the Israelites are freed from Egypt. The angels in heaven are rejoicing, right? They're thrilled that the Israelites have escaped Egypt. But God is weeping. God is sad. Of course, God is happy that the Israelites are free, but what is he sad about? What's God sad about? That the Egyptians perished. There was loss of life. Even in the redemption, even in the miracle, God says, this is not right. It's a really sad moment. Yes, the children of Israel are free, but I still mourn all these people who have died. And that's why on Passover, we take our finger, we put it into the cup of wine or grape juice. When we recite the plagues, we take a little bit of the wine or grape juice out to show that we are saddened by the pain and suffering the Egyptians went through in order for us to become free, right? And so that is the story of Passover, right? It's a redemption story. But again, we're not meant to take a victory lap. We're not meant to mock, deride, insult, make light of the suffering of others. We're meant to be compassionate because, again, we know what it's like to suffer. And that, my friends, that's our challenge. It's a challenge, I think, sometimes to feel empathy, to feel compassion for those who have angered us, those who have hurt us, those maybe who we think have wronged us in some way. 40,000 plus people didn't wrong the Jewish people, didn't wrong the state of Israel. These are innocent victims of a tragedy. Rabbi Eliyahu and I, we might read the same Torah, but I dare say we're interpreting it differently. And for me, that's not who we're meant to be. That's not meant to how we're supposed to act in the world. Instead, we look at our text, the texts that challenge us for interpretation. We can't ignore them. We can read them, we can study them, we can sort of see why this thinking might have occurred 2,000 years ago, but today it doesn't work. Today it's wrong to say that these people died because God is mad at them and is afflicting punishment upon men, women, and children who have done nothing to us. That's not Judaism. I think Judaism tells us about how we need to love the stranger and care for each other, protect each other, and it's a choice. Do we want to be vindictive, or do we want to be compassionate? Do we want to be cruel, or do we want to be kind? That's up to us. And I think in these moments, really in all moments, right, we have to answer with kindness and with love. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. We're going to turn now to page 586 as we rise together for Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. We turn to page 597. Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. We are in the Shiva period for the memory of David Krutchik, son of Fran Krutchik, brother of Diane Baker and Sherry Slingsby, uncle to Adam, Eric, Gareth, Alec, and Brittany. And so we send our condolences to Fran and her family who are with us today, family and friends. We send our condolences to the family. We are also in the Shloshim period for the memory of Dr. Sonia Linke, mother of Rael Slavinsky and Leah Slavinsky, grandmother of Alyssa Bender and David Bender. We are thinking of those who we lost during this last year: Barry Dabowski, Ann Blumenkrantz, Shirley Matler, Richard Clausen, Mary John Resch, Liesel Schick, Linda Laban Slavinsky, Jay Roth, Fran Brickman, John Conway, Michael Vereb, Janice Lederer, Bernice Lipman, Eric Adler, Ezra Bobo, and Richard Corwin. And we are observing the yurtzeit this week of Sidney G. Albert, Isidore D. Alpert, Irving Badner, Jake Banks, Hilda Banner, J. Maurice Bell, Edna Berman, Sylvia Angel Bild, Harold Book, Lillian Brom, Harriet Buck, Dorothy Aldridge Kanzler, Shirley Coleman, Lee Dorian, Jacob Dubrowski, Francis Dukes Dobos, Minerva Edelstein, Mark Enfinger, Bruce Flashenberg, Jacob J. Goldberg, Betty Goldman, Bernard J. Grandinet, Donald Gross, George Yale Harris, Molly Katz, Libby Malkin, Annette Mansfeld, Leonard Burton Mednick, Alexander Melamud, Diane Miller, Fern Moroff, Debbie Opperer, Herbert Rolfe, Judith G. Rome, Sam Rosenblatt, Deborah Rosenthal, Samara L. Rautenberg, David Shifter, Edna Sefakar, Louis Chagrin, Bessie Shallett, Benjamin Steinberg, Francis Suppowit, Rachel B. Ward, Stephen White, and Alex L. Zeisman. Is there anyone else observing a yurtzeit saying Kaddish for any reason? Please mention their names. Let's rise together, united as one community, page 598, Kaddish Yatom, the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shmei Rabbah, bi'alma divra cherutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'gala v'izman kari v'imru amen, Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevarach Leolam Lalmei Almaya Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitromam V'yitnaseh V'yitadar V'yitaleh V'yithalal Shmei D'Kudisha Barichu Le'ela Min Kol Birchata V'shirata Tush V'chata V'nechemata Da'amiran B'yama V'imru Amen Yehei Shloma Rabba Min Shemaya V'chaim Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen Oseh Shalom Bimromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom, Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to Israel, and all of the world. As together we say, Amen. Please be seated. It's now my pleasure to call up for a few synagogue announcements. One of our immediate past presidents, Denise Kirschbaum.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, people at home. We have a lot going on. Purim is coming up very, very soon, March 5th at 12:30 here at Temple. There will be a spiel. There will be a short, about 20-minute Megillah reading. There will be pizza. There will be pasta. There will be salad. All you have to do is RSVP so we know how many people to expect. On February 21st, Rabbi, as always, has his Intro to Judaism class, his Bible study class, and then the next day, on Wednesday, he does his Jewish magic and superstition class, which...
Actually, we're going to skip that week for WTBI's dinners.
Thank you. We're skipping a week. I forgot about that. It's been very, very well received. Thank you, Rabbi. Everybody seems to love it. On March 22nd, Nefesh Mountain, a wonderful, wonderful Jewish group, is coming here. They're going to be entertaining us at 7 o'clock. The cost is only $10, and it's being co-sponsored by us, by Congregation Beth Shalom, by Temple Bethel, and by Federation. So I hope everybody comes and we can have fun and celebrate together. On March 21st is the Community Women's Seder at Beth Shalom. The last few years, we've had to do it on Zoom and have kind of box meals. Hasn't been a lot of fun, but I'm really looking forward to this year when we can all be together again. You have to go online. You can look at the Temple e-blast and make your reservation. On April 1st, we have our annual poker tournament. It's $50 to play. If you'd like to just watch and cheer people on and eat some really good food, it'll be $20 to get in. And if there's any more, I think Rabbi can share that with you. It's been great being back on the Bima. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
I did want to mention one more because it really is going to be a weekend of Purim festivities that we have. Of course, in our religious school, we have our Purim Carnival, that morning, that's Sunday morning the 5th. And then on the 6th, that's Monday night, which is Purim proper. It's Erev Purim is Monday night. The 6th, we're going to meet with Temple Beth El at an establishment that serves adult beverages. And we are going to have a Megillah reading, some songs, some activities. This is going to be in the St. Pete area. It's in your e-blast, the Grand Central Brewery. And so there's just going to be a lot of fun Purim activities. Beth's working really hard, on the spiel. We're going to have a lot of fun with that on Sunday. And just, there's a lot of wonderful programming. Again, check that e-blast. We have a lot of things going on, and we really love it when we see people coming out to engage in these really wonderful, meaningful activities. Sounds good? Good.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Good. All right, I'm going to be really tall.
Yeah, now you can get to grow a little bit. You're taller than I am.
Look at that.
Okay, with that all said, let's turn to page.
Oh, wrong page.
We're going to turn to Adon Olam on page 600 and something or other. So let's see. 625, I shouldn't have hedged. 625 for Adon Olam. Let's rise together in song.
So Adon Olam is one of those songs that can be sung to a lot of different tunes. And I know it's one of my friend Heather's favorite songs. So we've been going through a number of different melodies for Adon Olam. And tonight we are going to be singing it to the great Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah. Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra Le'ed Nasa V'chetzo Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra V'yacharei Kichlot HaKol Leva'ado Yimloch Nora V'hu Haya V'hu Hoveh V'hu Yiyeh B'tifara V'hu Echad Ve'en Sheni Le'am Shilo Le'achbira B'li Reshit B'li Tachlit V'lo ha'oz ve'hamizra V'hu Eli V'chagoli V'tzorchev li Ba'ed Zara Adon Olam Adon Olam Adon Olam Adon Olam Ve'hu nisi unmanos li menat kozi biyom ekrat beya'ado afki ruchi Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Adon Olam.
That was so cool.
Was that fun?
Cool.
I know.
And now let's conclude with Motzi.
Ha-motzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as this joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz, b'tei avon.
Shabbat
Shabbat
Shalom.
shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Uneg in the social hall.
That's right, yes. And it looks like